In Snow White, Rachel Zegler plays the part of a homeless vagabond that house invades a group of disabled minorities so that she can enslave them and force them to work cleaning up her new colony so it reaches her standards. Seems her Spanish Latina genetics are kicking in again.
F***ing backward. Story of 7 dwarves.
And this new modern fairy tale is everything you want, so there's a prince.
Fine. All of Andrew's scenes could get cut. Who knows? It's Hollywood, baby.
A love story.
Cartoon was so focused on her finding true love, and it's really not even in her mind at all in this film.
And opinionated women.
You know, I really don't remember you being this opinionated.
It seems like Rachel was born to play this role. Well, I say that, the most unbelievable part of the movie is that 7 men could put up with living with her. Let's face it, she would have been far better off as the evil queen.
The queen stole everything from all of us.
Now, the most obvious change from the original to this one is that the evil queen is more attractive than Snow White.
Did I frighten you?
Okay, not in that scene, but at least the creators did acknowledge this problem in the trailers.
Famed is thy beauty, majesty, but a lovely maiden I now behold.
Look, Gal, clearly you're the most attractive person here. We all know it. But this led to them making a rather drastic change to the basic definition of words.
It became about the fairest of them all, meaning who is the most just.
That's right, in this version of the trailer, Rachel Zegler is more just than someone called the Evil Queen. We are setting a really low bar here. I mean, I imagine most people in the realm are more just than someone called the Evil Queen. Snow White has been enslaving the local populace, but when compared to the Evil Queen, she just about edges it. It's unfortunate for Gal Gadot that when she does finally take care of Rachel, she'll just be left with everybody else in the kingdom to take care of afterwards. But you know me, as an Englishman, we always look on the optimistic side of life. And that's why, even in this trailer, I found something to like.
This was my father's kingdom, a place of fairness, but the queen.
That's right, this realm thrived under the patriarchy, that's what it did. Then what happened, his wife took over, ruined everything. I mean, it's the story of the world. Bravo, Rachel, I mean, surprisingly based.
It seems your stupidity is second only to your inability to control your temper.
But Snow White does have many problems that it needs to overcome. And no, I don't mean turning Gal Gadot into some kind of War of the Worlds alien invasion robot. I really don't know why they did this to her. Give her really long legs, that'll make her less attractive. This is what happens when you don't have men in the office. But no, the problem is that Rachel seems to be losing the press. Variety has done many pro-Rachel pieces. I've watched women get torn down my whole life. As she's literally in a movie doing it to one herself.
This is our kingdom, and now we're here to take it back.
This just goes to show, don't ask who is getting torn down. Ask if they deserve it. Because I mean it when I say the press has turned on Snow White. Rachel Zegler deserves better than this. No, she doesn't. It seems they only think so because she was in Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. Elsewhere, there's barely a compliment to be had. The Guardian, wish it away. Will the live-action Snow White be a new low for Disney? Mail Online, Disney fans slam Rachel Zegler. The full trailer for Snow White looks so bad. Even Kotaku couldn't compliment the movie, saying that the live-action 7 dwarves are pure nightmare fuel. You know you're at a low point when even Kotaku can't chill for you. And while Variety did at first try to defend her, the Snow White trailer, Rachel Zegler meets the 7 dwarves and defies the evil queen by showcasing her singing. That didn't last long, because this was December the 3rd, only for the very next day to come out with Disney got its groove back in 2024, but troubled Snow White could halt the hot streak. And if you're wondering why I'm showing you a screenshot of this article, it's because they decided to subtly change it afterwards. I'm guessing that Moana 2 has more SEO click-through power than trying to pretend that Disney had a good 2024.
Hey, Bob, if you're in the audience, go yourself. Is that clear? I hope it is.
For everyone else, there's reviews like this from Stuart Heritage, who I believe reviewed Rings of Power. He was the honest person at The Guardian that came out and, oh, now we can be honest about it. Now it's over, I can tell you the truth. It was a stinker, wasn't it? Calling it a hauntingly bad new trailer, where he starts the article with, my son opened his laptop and said, Daddy, there's a new Snow White trailer. And then less than 2 minutes afterwards shrieked, Daddy, these dwarves are terrifying. It brings me no happiness to inform you that Disney has done it again. Far from exquisite, characterful, cutting-edge, feature-length fairy tales, this time it's decided to squeeze out a hot fat turd. Yes, this is The Guardian, but at least Stuart has a kind of way with words. As the years of counselling my son now requires me to tell you, this trailer is beyond horrible. This new Snow White is arguably the ugliest thing ever committed to screen. Even I've never said that about Rachel.
And if you disagree with this sentiment, just hit the unfollow button. I don't need your business. Thanks.
It's transformed woodland creatures into literal vermin. And then there's the dwarves. My god, the dwarves. This is nightmare fuel. The new dwarves feel like something that would deliberately be shown to prisoners of war to break their spirit. It's hard to even describe them. The dwarves look like somebody has snuck into Disneyland, grabbed the statues, and wrapped them in human flesh, as a serial killer would with a gift for their mother. They look like a seaside caricature of somebody they openly hated. Like animatronic figures that were struck by lightning and came to life before the fire was put out.
It's a human.
What did you think I was?
Nothing. Ghost.
They look like somebody has shaved Sonic the Hedgehog, but the one from the first trailer that everybody hated. But most impressively of all, they achieved the feat of somehow looking extremely racist while not actually being racist. Nightmare fuel. We should be used to this by now. It's the ongoing attempt to sully everything anyone has ever loved. But Snow White represents a new low. Until now, people had the theory that Disney was just trying to extend their copyright. But having seen the new Snow White, I think something slightly more fiendish is going on. I think Disney is making these ugly films so that any time in the future, if anyone even thinks of making a Snow White movie, they'll automatically be haunted by visions of the film's bulbous, gruesome, hellspawn dwarves, and be so busy crying and vomiting that they'll immediately go off the idea. It's the only logical conclusion. If all were right in the world, then this Snow White would be locked away forever. It's going to scar a generation of young kids. And now I have a thing to threaten my son with. Clean your room, or I'll make you watch the trailer again. It's that bad. This might be the greatest article Stuart's ever written.
Maybe some mercy's in order.
These dogs deserve nothing but our boot.
And I think the media turning on the movie does showcase everybody knows what's going to happen to this movie. Everybody knows what it's going to be like. And despite reshoots, where I'm sure they will have changed the story, maybe toned down on all the messages that we saw from Rachel's original interviews.
She's not going to be dreaming about true love. She's dreaming about becoming the leader she knows she can be. And maybe she finds love, maybe she finds friendship, but really what's important is that she finds her own voice.
That's gaslighting. That's what it is. Like this, we're the victims. Feel bad for us. That's what that is.
I don't think they'd be able to fix the movie. Not just because I don't think that creators nowadays actually understand what the problem is with what they're doing in the first place, but also, unless you reshot everything, simply the ego and the tone of voice shines through. As we already saw in leaked footage from D24, I don't think I can show you because it's not been officially showcased online. Needless to say, they changed the entire cleaning scene from her doing it for the dwarves to bossing the dwarves about and telling them what to do. You go and clean that over there. Use the broom! That's why when people try and defend the movie by Rachel Zegler deserves, but no, she doesn't. Even the people which are desperately trying to find something to defend, like, well, Gal Gadot gets to have a crown, and I mean, that's cool, even if she can't act. And the Seven Dwarfs, well, that's an uncanny valley horror. In fact, the one thing about the trailer that I like is the tortoise.
It was a magical place.
I'm trying not to totally judge a movie by its trailer, which is literally the point of the trailer. By all means, judge a movie by its trailer. But maybe it'll work story-wise. And to be honest, this just looks like a studio which is trying to grasp for its glory days. Well, you weren't going to find that with Rachel, were you? And others that tried to come up with the title that defend that Rachel Zegler is supported by fans, following the release of a divisive Snow White. You're supposed to be journalists. Do you know the definition of words? If she was supported by the fans, it wouldn't be divisive, would it? Because they'd support her. This has generated controversy from critics, but she's supported by people. One fan said, Rachel, they can never make me hate you.
You're saying the same shit, so shut the f*** up.
This time around, even Gal Gadot isn't escaping criticism, with people saying that she can't act to save her life.
What did you say?
Take him away!
I have to say, this picture is a lot better when you cut off her weird legs. Those weird legs. The War of the Worlds' weird legs. Gal Gadot has no range, no talent, no charisma, no morals. So naturally, Hollywood is committed to make her a movie star. She already is, to be fair. You really have to suck to make it in that business. In fact, to be as balanced as possible, I went out across the internet searching for the fabled modern audience, venturing through every dungeon to the back of every dank cave, lifting up every rock where evil may have scuttled. And in my quest, I did find the one person which is the modern audience. I present to you, Snow White is rotten right to the core. Okay, at first glance, it may seem like I've missed, but trust me on this one. Mirror, mirror on the wall, what's the worst panto of them all? This isn't about the movie. This is about a pantomime play that they went to see at the theatre, and they hated it. I know it still sounds odd, but the reason why they hated it is because they wanted a fresh and funny retelling of a beloved fairy tale. Their main problem, their main disappointment with the play is that it closely resembled the original story of Snow White. This is somebody that is pissed they did stick to the source material-ish. When I say modern audience, you've seen nothing yet, right? They're complaining they stuck too close to the source material because the only thing they liked about the theatre production is that the 7 dwarves were replaced with a ragtag team of environmentalists. And this was one of the show's few wise choices. Even through this decision, they could have lent themselves to some familiar references to current events. They didn't even throw orange paint on a Picasso. So this ragtag team went nowhere. Even when you completely and utterly destroy the plot, even when you replace the 7 dwarves with a ragtag team of nutcases, they still complain that you stuck too close to the source material. And if this was a cinema watching the movie, I'd be entirely behind her. This is a pantomime. And she goes, that's not to say the jokes didn't land. A loud minority of the crowd reacted to even the most mundane of lines with uproarious laughter. The scum. We're going to a pantomime and complaining that people are having fun. I'm not, though. She didn't even kick Beethoven in the face. Jokes that did have legs took so long to get the punchline out that I often forgot what they were talking about by the time they got there. Now they're blaming the play because they're thick as pigs. I'm sorry, I just don't have the attention span to get to the end of a joke. Not only is this the modern audience, this is the modern TikTok brain rot audience. Even the script's pop culture references were outdated and in places offensive, including a confusing jab at Amanda Holden's appearance, which would not have been out of place on my nan's Facebook page. And despite complaining that they dropped in occasional innuendos, they then follow this up with, the script probably would have benefited from a little bit more filth. Pissing Snow White, you pervert. Snow White, she doesn't need true love with a prince. She needs to go downtown and...
I didn't become a little bit of a slag. I became a total slag.
To provide a welcome relief from the cringe. The only relief she has from cringe is when someone opens the legs. Snow White wants to stop doing chores, the Queen is beautiful, and Prince Charming is a bit of a wet wipe. We get it. That's probably going to be quite close to Rachel Zegler's movie, to be honest. I'm always a bit disappointed when they don't cast a drag queen. I thought it's the modern audience, folks. But George Dickinson as the huntsman in a pink tutu will do. So they did cast it then. And that's the bit they liked. I need to come back here, see if they do a Snow White review. I think she'll love it. It is a she, right? Nadia, yes. At the Ain, Quiz Grismerelda asked the audience to spot the reviewer, but I left so quickly they wouldn't have been able to catch me anyway. Wait, this is from Cambridge. Oh god, this is for pantomime in my country. I thought it was America. Thinking about it, that's where I should have expected to find the modern audience. The University of Cambridge. After all, the heroes defeated all the evil in dungeons long ago.
What do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean?
Because the writing is on the wall for Snow White. No one's defending it. CBR's coming out and attacking the dwarves as well. And even Empire, when they try and play it down, come out with, the CG rendering of the dwarves has caused a smattering of internet disapproval. The backlash is so large and severe that they can't deny it or gaslight anyone that they actually like the thing, as quite frankly, no one would believe them. So the only thing they can do is try and downplay the backlash, if they even try at all. In fact, TV Line came out with, does the Snow White movie trailer have you missing Once Upon a Time all over again? Is it so horrific it made you long for the past? Because Disney released the trailer and it instantly got ratioed. And while obviously there is the extension and the ratio on that, with this reporting that it got 19,000 dislikes to 7,300 likes, that's not the only ratio that videos can get. Because just because you remove the dislike doesn't mean that we can't tell other ratios. Like, you had 4.3 million views on this Snow White trailer to 18,000 likes. Whereas you can compare that to my video, which has 1.8 million views and got 60,000 likes. With well under half the views, it got far more than triple the likes. The simple fact is, many people are watching this trailer, but not many people are liking it. And as the level of interaction across the website stays generally the same, if they're not pressing the up button, they're definitely pressing the down one. Snow White may have its very tiny modern audience in Cambridge, but for everyone else, there's massacre. I mean, they're in trouble. But those are just my thoughts. What are yours? Let me know down in the comments below. Like the video if you like the video. Subscribe more videos like this in the future, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.